Hi everyone, welcome back to my math class. We are going to be looking at polynomials. Now, given that the polynomial f of x is equal to 6 minus x raised by 2 is a factor of the polynomial g of x, where p and q are constant, find the value of p and q. Now, to solve this problem, from the equation, f of x was given as a factor of this polynomial, which means this f of x can go into this g of x without what? Remainder. Now, to solve this problem, we need to factorize this quadratic equation here. This quadratic equation. So, solution. I have 6 minus x squared equal to what? 0. If I rearrange this, I'm going to have x squared plus x minus 6 is equal to what? 0. So that we can be able to factorize easily. That's why I rearrange the quadratic equation. So to factorize this, we need just two factors such that when you multiply, it will give you minus 6. When you add those two factors, it will give you 1, that is positive 1. So the two factors are minus 2 and what? And 3. So therefore, we now have x minus 2 into x plus 3. So this x minus 2 will go into g of x. X plus 3 must go into g of what? X. That is, the two of them are factor of what? Of this g of x. Now, the next thing to do is that if x minus 2 is equal to 0, if x minus 2 is equal to 0, then x automatically becomes what? 2. So it means that g of x, this function g of x must be equal to what? 0. So now g of 2 also must be equal to what? 0. So for g of x to be equal to 0, we are trying g of 2, which is a factor of this g of x, which must also be equal to 0, is equal to, now anywhere we see x, we are going to put 2. So we have p into 2 raised to the power of 3 plus 5 into 2 raised to the power of 2 plus q into what? 2 plus what? 18. So at this point, if you simplify, we are going to have 8p plus 20 plus 2q plus 18. If you go ahead to simplify, you're going to have 20 plus 18 is 38. So I have 8p plus 2q plus 30 what? 38. So I can rearrange this to, because g of x must be equal to 0. Since g of x is equal to 0, so I'll definitely have 8p plus 2q plus 38 is equal to 0. Therefore, if I rearrange, I have 8p plus 2q. Let me move the constant number to the left-hand side. I'm going to move the constant to the right hand side. So I have minus what? 38. I can call this equation 1. Now, so at this point, if x plus 3 is another factor of this g of x, so I'll have x plus 3 is equal to 0. Therefore, x is equal to minus 3. So, and g of x must be equal to 0. So, g of 3 also must be equal to 0. So, I have g of 3, g of minus 3 rather, is equal to, anywhere I see x, I'm going to put what? Minus 3. So, I have p of what? Minus 3 raised to the power of 3 plus, I have 5 into minus 3 raised to the power of 2 plus q into minus 3 plus 18. So simplifying this now, we have minus 3 raised to the power 3 will be 27 minus 27. So I have minus 27p. This will be minus 3 square will be 9. 9 times 5 is 45. So I have plus what? 45. Then minus 3q. Then plus what? Plus 18. Which must be equal to what? 0. So at this point, you can simplify. So here, I'm going to have minus 27p minus 3q. Now 45 plus 18 will be 5 plus 3, here we have 13. Then 1 plus 4 is 5 plus 1 is what? 6. So I have 63. So plus 63 is equal to 0. So if I multiply minus all through, I'm going to have, I multiply minus all through just to change the negative sign here. I'm going to multiply minus 1 all through. So I'm going to have 27p plus 3q minus 63 is equal to 0. So at this point, if I move the constant number to the right hand side, I'm going to have 27p plus 3q is equal to 63. I can call this equation 2. So we're going to solve simultaneously at this point. We're going to solve simultaneously. So this is equation 1 and this is equation 1. Now to solve simultaneously, we have 8p plus 2q is equal to minus 38, which is equation 1. Here we have 27p plus 3q is equal to 60 what? 63. So using elimination method. So using elimination method, I can just, because this number is bigger, so I can just use this. Now, how do I make the coefficient of this q to be the same? All I need to do is to multiply, interchange the coefficient. That is, use 2 to multiply the whole of this, then use 3 to multiply the whole of this. So I have, so that I can get the value of what? Of p. Eliminating what? Q. So if I multiply this by 2, by 3 rather, then I'll multiply this by what? By 2. So if I multiply this by 3, I'm going to have 24p plus 6q is equal to, so 6 times 8 is 24. Then we have 9, 11. So we have minus what? 114. Then this will be 54p plus 6q is equal to, here I have 6 and I have 12 here. So at this point, you can see that we can eliminate Q. So to eliminate Q now, we what? We use this negative sign, minus. So put minus here. So 24p minus 54p. So we are going to get what? 30 what? Minus 30p. So this one is 0 already. It's equal to minus 114 minus 126. I'm going to have, this is 0, this is 3, and this is what? 2. I have minus 230. So at this point, you can, okay, I'm going to have 4 rather. So here, you divide all through by what? Minus 30, so that you get your what? Your P. If I divide this, P automatically becomes what? Becomes what? 8. So since my P is equal to 8, I can get the value of Q. So at this point, I can get the value of Q since we know the value of P. So we substitute the value of P into any of the equation, either equation 1 or equation 2. So let's substitute into equation 1. So from here, so we have 8P. So I'll replace P with 8. So I have 8 plus 2Q is equal to minus 38. So at this point, we have 64 plus 2Q is equal to minus 38. So if I collect like terms, I'm going to have 2Q is equal to minus 38 minus 64. So 2Q now is equals to, now, minus 38 minus 64. 8 plus 4 is 12. 3 plus 6 is 9. Plus 1 is what? 10. So I have minus what? 102. Minus 102. So to get Q, we divide both sides by 2. So we divide both sides by 2. Therefore, Q becomes what? Minus what? This will cancel this. I have 5. This is 1. So I have minus 51 Q. So at this point, the value of P is 8 and Q is equal to what? Minus 51. So if you find this video helpful, please click the subscribe button in order to see more of my videos. Thank you.